There is one chord in the major key that allows you to create 7 beautiful sounding chords with the least amount of effort. These chords are perfect for songwriting. Now I'm referring to the sus2 chord or the suspended 2 chord, which sounds like this. Now this particular chord is called the A sus2 and it belongs to the A major key. In fact, this is the chord that we build on the first degree of the A major scale. You play an A major chord, you get rid of the little finger, and you play the B string open, and you have this beautiful sounding A suspended 2. Now why suspended? Because we are lowering the major third, the C sharp, down to the major second. And so this chord is played without the third. We don't know if it's a major chord or it's a minor chord, and this is why we call it suspended. Now guys, I'm using the capo on the fret number 5, so all the chords and all the notes are related to the capo. When I call this chord an A sus2, I do so because this is the A sus2 chord shape. But note-wise, this is actually a D sus2. Now why is this A sus2 as well as any other sus2 so amazing? Well, I can play this chord with 7 different notes on the bass, and each single chord sounds beautiful. I'll give you an example. So I literally just played the A major scale on the bass, and I kept the same chord on the top, the A sus2, the G string fret 2, B string open and E string open, the B on the bass, the C sharp on the bass, the D on the bass, the E on the bass, the F sharp on the bass, the G sharp on the bass, and back to the A. Now obviously in this video we're going to narrow it down to one musical idea, but you can see how easy it can be to come up with your chord progression. Just change the order, change the finger picking pattern, and you have a beautiful chord progression. Now we're going to start with a beautiful and sweet intro. That's the reason why I like to use the capo on fret 5. It just makes the guitar sound super sweet. So we're going to put down the A sus2, and we're going to pick 3 strings only. It's 8 notes per pattern. So it's thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, middle. Then we're going to have the second pattern, which is going to be thumb, index, thumb, middle with the E string fret number 4, the E string fret number 5, and the E string open. I'm holding the G string fret 2, let it ring out. It's a beautiful note, you always want it to be there. Then we're going to repeat the same thing. So the same pattern, 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have the E string fret number 2, the E string open, the G string fret 2, and the B string open. It's a super sweet intro. Now from here we're going to play 3 different chords. The F sharp minor 11 with the bass note on the D string fret 4, the E sus4 with the D string fret number 2 as the bass, the note E. You can also use the low E string, and the D sus2 with a major 6, which is played with the D string open. The finger picking pattern is very similar. So I have thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, ring. Same thing with the E sus4. Each pattern is repeated twice. And then for the D chord, we have a little bit more notes. So we're going to start with the same pattern: thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb. and then the E string fret number 2 with thumb and ring. Then we have thumb, index, thumb, the E string fret number 4, thumb, E string fret number 5, and the E string open. So and we repeat the same thing. Now the second time we play the melody, we kind of changed the D chord as we want to make it a little bit more conclusive. So we play the same pattern, and we have the melody on the E string fret number 2, E string open, the G string fret number 2, and the B string open. When you put the whole thing together, now we can obviously give more bass to the chords and bring the bass note 1 octave lower. So for the F sharp minor, the E, I'm playing the low E string fret 2, the E string open, and then the D will have to be the same, the D string open. Now we can use the same approach to change things around a little bit. Same chord progression, but different type of chord. Another simple idea, I'm just using an additional note, a riff that will repeat over and over. So I'm playing the G string fret number 1, a hammer on fret 2, so I go back to this A sus2, the B string open, and the E string open, and the B string open. And I'm playing the same bass note here, so I have the F sharp, the E, and the D. Now on the D, because we play the D twice, we're gonna also play a short melody. So E string open, fret number 2, 4, 5, pull off, and the B string open. And then we repeat the same thing. So you can structure the chord progression as you prefer. You can either just use one chord, or you can add a few notes around this chord shape like I did with the hammer on and just change things around a little bit. We can obviously finish the exercise with the same chord progression. And finish with the A sus2. So I'm just playing the A string open, the G string, the B string, the E string. And I finish with an A major 7th chord. The A string open, the G string fret number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the E string fret number 4. Beautiful sounding chord. It's not a sus2, but you can kind of change the last one if you want, just to play something different. So this is how we can use the suspended 2 chord, in this case the A sus2, to write a beautiful and unique chord progression. It doesn't really take a lot of effort. You just gotta learn the note of the A major scale on the bass notes, and then just keep the same chord on the top and then just change the bass note. Sometimes you don't even have to necessarily know which chord you are actually playing. Just change the bass note and just listen to your ears. If you like it, if it sounds good, keep it. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. See you next time and enjoy this lesson.